All right, welcome team to video number 2 on mindset. So what we're going to cover today is start with the end in mind. So we're going to do a little bit of an exercise, a drill. You're definitely going to need your journal or your printout, or even just like a notebook would be fine as well. Ideally, the journal is going to be a bit better. And we're going to go a little bit deep. So I want you guys to get your thinking hat caps on. And just think about all things life, essentially. So let me get this screen share going. We'll get straight to it. Share technology, not my favorite. All right, we're on track. Sweet. So start with the end in mind. So this is very similar to the start with the end in mind we did for the challenge in our little workshop before we started. Essentially, this is the same thing, but we're going to do one for your life and who you are as a person. This is a drill that I do every year now, and if not more. And it just really helps me get back in touch with who I want to be, how I want to be showing up in life in all scenarios, and how I want to be remembered. This also paints the canvas to how you set your goals. So if you just set goals without doing this, a lot of the time we can set goals that aren't actually in alignment with what we want to achieve, and who we are as a person. And then we get a thing called cognitive dissonance, which we'll discuss in some later mindset videos. This is about all we're doing in the challenge for goals, but by far, this is the most important thing you can do before you set goals. So if you're like a New Year's resolution person or whatever works for you, you set targets throughout the year, you must be doing this as a regular practice, starting with the end in mind for your life and for just like big kind of adventures that you're going on. So this all comes from my favorite book of all time, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey, and this is just one of his quotes. So like with the last one, guys, in our mindset vids, I just want you guys to read along. I don't really need to be reading it out for you. You guys pay attention, look at the video, sit down, get comfy, and read along. So this is a nice quote that kind of just summarizes what I'm talking about. All right, so like I said, this is an extremely important thing to do. It's a easy kind of concept to understand, but like as I've said here, it is very difficult to execute. So we're going to go through this exercise. I want you guys to just clear your mind. Hopefully you're somewhere quiet by yourself or somewhere kind of nice where you can just let your mind flow with ideas. If you are going to do it in your journal, go to page 11. And if you're just doing it in your own personal journal or on a notebook, that's absolutely fine as well. Just make sure you always refer back to it. Or if you do continuous challenges, like you jump on board our next one, the more you do this stuff, the better you're going to get at it. Like we've talked about with habits and habit development and creation, repetition is key. So what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to put ourselves in a scenario, in a situation. We are at a funeral. Now, funerals are a part of life. The ticket to life is knowing that we're not going to actually live forever. It's just a part of life, and it is an important thing to remember. And there are times when we are kind of confronted with death. I think they're a great time to really hone in on this stuff and just remember what's important and remember why we're here. So we're at a funeral, and you have a few people standing about to give speeches. You have your best friend, you have your partner, your parents, you have the closest people to you in your life. Maybe it's your kids, you have your work colleagues, you have your sports team or your like community-based people that are there to speak. All the people that mean a lot to you and know you the best in your life. Now, if you haven't already figured out, we are at your own personal funeral. So what's going to happen in a second is all these people are going to come up and they're going to talk about you and your life and who you were as a person. So what we're going to write down is we're going to write down what these people are going to say about you. And this is essentially finding your values of who you are and how you want to show up in life, where we're headed, what you're going to achieve, all of this goodness. So think about when you are at your last days or at the final chapter of your life. What do you want to be remembered as a person? What do you want to be remembered from achieving? And who do you want to kind of be remembered as from the most important people in your life? So I'm going to ask a few questions and you guys are going to write down the answers. Now I'm going to ask the questions quickly. You guys are just going to stop the video and then write down the answers and then press play again. So question number one is, who do you want to be remembered as by all of these people? And try and individually go through all of those people and what they would say about you. So some things to kind of think about are values, like, were you a courageous person? Were you a caring person? Were you there that always had people's back? Were you fun at work? Were you someone that just made life a little bit better? Were you someone that brought smiles to people's days? Were you someone that really helped find someone's purpose in life or exceed in life? Who do you want to be remembered as by the most important people in your life? Now, next question. What did you achieve? So these are kind of like some big goals. Were you an incredible business person? Were you an incredible family member? Did you travel the world? Did you achieve extraordinary things? Did you solve some of the world's biggest problems? Were you someone that really made a difference in the environment? Were you really someone that really made a difference in making people healthier and happier? Were you someone that helped reduce the amount of rubbish in the world? You know, all these different things, these problems in the world. What's your purpose? What drives you? And what did you achieve in your life? So this can be in personal, this can be more selfish, this can be your overall purpose and meaning to life. What do you want these people to go up and say about you at your funeral, about the things that you have achieved in your life? Now, these are essentially the two. And if you didn't stop the video and write some notes, you should be having at least 10, 15, 20 minutes paring down some ideas. Once you get a few things on the pen and paper, with the pen, those ideas are going to start to flow. So just get those words down, start to let it kind of unravel, really take the time to figure out what you want to achieve and who you want to be as a person in your life, and how do you want others to see you and kind of perceive you as a person, or perceive your life even as well. Now, a few more questions after you've answered this. Are you living in alignment with these values and what you've written down on the paper? Like, truthfully, what you've written down at the end of your life, the person you want to be, who you want to be as you show up, are you living right now as that person? Do you think people would say that about you right now? And have you achieved the things that you want to achieve? And then the next question, guys, is, if not, which is probably not the case, hopefully it's not, because if you've achieved everything and you're already that person, then like, what's really the point? We should always be striving for constant improvement. Who do you have to become right now in order to achieve those things? And what are some steps that you can take in order to step forward in the direction of becoming the person you've just written about? So this, like I said, paints the canvas. It's the starting point of all goals. And if your goals are not in alignment with this, it's not going to be a good time. You'll have that cognitive dissonance. You probably won't follow through on them, and there'll be no purpose to them. You're not living true to who you are as a person and what you really want to achieve in your life. So make sure you take some time to really go through this properly, 10 to 20 minutes on each of these questions. And then let's start doing those things, 30 days, doing those things in order to become that person. So for the next 30 days, you are being that person. You're living those values. You're living those small steps in order to achieve those bigger goals. You're literally becoming the person you know you are and who you want to be. One more slide. So this is just like a little bit more info on why it's important, like I've kind of already discussed. So have a bit of a read if you like. Peace, guys. I'll see you guys on the next video. Please, please, please take the time to do this drill. Big love.